Guys, welcome back. Sdho, how are you doing? Hope you're doing good. I'm not on video because I'm experimenting with different recording settings, and I have a feeling that I might drop off, need to close programs and things and start over. And so because I'm going to be testing a bunch of different things, if I was recording myself on video, then when I put this together in a post-production, I would have to line up, the camera that's recording me with my voice, and so that would just be annoying. So I was like, let's just stay off video, and it's kind of fun that one. I think it was 3 or 4 or 5 SDHOs ago, I was off video for a long part because my camera didn't record me for the first time ever. Didn't know how that happened. So I want to jump into a few things, doing Ableton again because I've been sort of reinvigorated in some excitement for Ableton, and also I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but if you guys want any sort of Ableton tutor hangout sessions, we can work on your tracks, we can learn Ableton sound design. I have actually officially started doing that and it's been really cool, and you should reach out if you're interested in that. I want some sort of a sample because I want to show you a really cool technique in Simpler using slice mode, which you can do some really crazy cool generative stuff. So I just want some sort of a sample. If you go to samples, you should have millions of these. I never really look through these. All I want is a long piece of audio, not long, but definitely, probably 10, 20 seconds at least. And I want there to be different things. This technique also is really good with a drum break, but I'm not as interested in that right now. I kind of want no, that's more just a sound. I want something that's different because I want to have something. There's so many. That's a lot of snares. It's good to know I've got that many snares. Let's see here. Oh man, this is awful. I should have thought about this before coming on. Okay, xylophone might save the day. Give us something. No. Well, I actually like the way these sound. There's some good sounding. I actually think when wow, I really don't have many samples. I don't think I installed as many as normally, but we're gonna go to, I don't like that I need something longer, as I was mentioning. So I'm gonna go to packs, and I think when in doubt, if you go into packs and core library, you should find what you're looking for. I'm gonna go to loops because I want something longer. I don't need to loop it. Texture, let's see. Ooh, nice. I want something that changes. Something that's recognizable, not something like that. Let's see if this will work. We're going to have to double click on Simpler and then drag it. If anything, I don't want to search too long because I don't want to bore you guys out. So to do this technique, well, first of all, you want to make sure your record enabled here. You won't hear anything. And I'm clicking a note on my keyboard and I'm not hearing anything, which means that for whatever reason, we want it to play right here. That's where we want our first note to play. I'm on my laptop keys. And when I play C3, it plays C3 is way up here. I think this is C1. So let's see. Let's take pitch to do shift. Hold down shift and hit down arrow. If you just hit down arrow, it'll do that. But if you do shift, and that's okay. See? And that's not really useful because there's so much silence there, which is why we'll do this. Now, it's on trigger, so if I hit one of these slices, it will play all the way through. Kind of like the one-shot mode. But if you do gate, now if you held it down, it would go all the way through. Now this actually does a pretty good job, I'll be completely honest. I'm pretty pleased with this sound because I just think it's a nice sound, and like it changes. So like if it was like a drone, this technique wouldn't work. So like go back to trigger. Okay, this one does it better. So we could actually like get rid of this, I think. Is it the same all the way through? Oh shit, sorry about that. There's a spider on my microphone stand. It's not a big one, thank God. And normally if you can just blow these suckers off, but I didn't get them, and you know, I gotta get them. I gotta get them off. Spiders are very symbolic. Now it's just on the floor. It's not very big, so it's not freaking me out too much. So we can do this transient, which is actually, it did a great job picking out different areas. Because like if I put one here, I think you can I put one there? Let's see. Can I just steal one of these? Because this guy, oh no, you can't. Well, that's weird. You should have a way to add them, you know. You should have a way to add. Oh, you can't. Just double click. I wanted to see, because like, you know, I'm sure this part sounds a little different. Those are kind of maybe like a fade out or something. And actually, I can't even play the next one because I only have like 10 keys, I think, on this laptop. That's like what you get. So the trick we were going to do is, well, I'm sure you know if you had like a Presiator, you're going to... But you get the random. Now for this random, over down here, because we're going to be playing this note, we wanted to choose random notes above, so we want add. And how many choices do we have? I think we have 12. Here, let's get rid of this. So, 12 choices. Now nothing's going to happen. It's only going to play the C to the 0. We want it to be going above. Sounds pretty good. Now we got lucky with that sample. Any sort of percussion loop would be really good, because especially if you were like, oh, I really like this percussion sample. It sounds great with like my piece of music, but like I'm not really a percussionist. I don't really want to be doing like, programming MIDI loops, or programming MIDI clips to play like a drum rack. Like I don't want that. So like you might say, well, I feel like I don't want to just like rip this percussion loop that came with, Ableton or something. People will know it. I want like my own touch. Well, like you could put a loop in there. You can even like warp it up perfectly in Simpler. And then you can basically just do this technique. You can record the output. So I'm surprised we didn't do that. So audio track, audio from resampling, record enable. Make sure both of these are record enabled, which I always go over how to do that. And then if we click this record, there we go. Maybe I'll get rid of this one. These are all kind of similar. I wanted something that wasn't like a percussion loop, because I think it can give very interesting results. And if you really like the first one, like you like the interchange of how like the first one sounds, you can then lower the chance. We have 12 choices here, which I think there's like around about 12, so like we don't really need to change it like that much. Maybe there's like a little different thing here. Maybe there's like a different head here. I think these sound kind of the same. Get rid of it. Double click to add one, double click to edit. Transient worked out good for us. And I'm gonna stop this. Transient worked out good for us. But like what you can also do is do manual. Oh, and that would be if you just wanted to like add yours exactly where you wanted it. Or you could just do region. So like sometimes I found, especially when there's like a lot of different things, you can just crank up these regions as much as you want. And that's pretty cool too. So how many regions do I have? 23. So I would want to make sure this choices is all the way up at 24. I don't know if it's, so like, and actually because it's up, 23 I think is what we would need. Obviously we can't go higher than 24, but if we wanted to go to 24, if we did scale to 2, that would make it go up to 48 possibilities. And let's do that. Let's see if it gives it, well, first of all, let's just hear what this sounds like, first of all. No, we need more chance. I don't want it to play the first one that many times. Only like sometime. So now we're like introducing like kind of like a nothing in there, So if we push this up to 2, we should like exacerbate that. Maybe, maybe not. Well, okay. Go it. So yeah, I definitely wanted to show you that. Now, we could go get like a different sample. Put like a different sample in there. It's just when I click on these samples, I must not have like loaded. I think like I did like a clean install of Ableton. I think actually when I got this laptop like 4.5 years ago, and like I knew that I didn't want to like fill up my laptop with like junk. Not to say Ableton's packs are junk. You know, if you have see if any of these are good before I close this. Sure, so you can just like jumble in some crap and then see what's going on here. Okay. Now, sensitivity, if you scroll sensitivity, you'll like lose some. Yeah, I kind of want more. I don't like this first one though. I think what we'll do is we'll get rid of this. I just want to hear this first one first to see where to set it. So you can like always adjust these. Kind of crazy. It's just something to give ideas, something to play around with, and if anything, if you haven't like played around and used this technique, I mean, you might as well. Guys, we are back in another project. Had to get off the last one and made some changes to some recording settings, and now we are jumping back. And you know, I've been doing a lot of work with Simpler. And I was like, you know, I kind of want to jump into Sampler now. I do Sampler less these days just because I know whenever I do Simpler, anyone who has Ableton's going to have Simpler. And I ran into something that I was like, you know, I think Sampler does that better. It's a pretty important thing. So I'm like, let's see. So it's a good opportunity. I haven't been in there in a while. Haven't been able to find the samples I want. Right. Actually, that sounds nice. Maybe let's see if this will work. So you need to record enable, and this is, I guess, like a piano loop. I don't know why it looks like this. Maybe it's like 2 chords, and we can pick. So when we make sure we're record enabled, we want to play C3. So whatever you're using, play C3. And so you'll play this at the pitch it was played at, right? So if you just click any note, wow, that sounds great. I literally just played a descending arpeggio of a minor triad. So you always want to like zoom in, make sure you're at like the start of the thing. You could move it in. Notice how there's a little click when we make it play when it's above the 0 crossing line. But I wanted to do something else, but right now I'm just kind of curious. I want to delay. Ooh, that sounds nice. Now I want to just like loop this. And so in order to loop it, you have to click one of these sustain modes. But I don't want that to loop. So I want to bring it in here. And I want to get that start point. And then I want to figure out, I want to get the loop start, because it's going to start here. And then I want it to like continue looping as if it's like a chord. So like obviously like somebody played an electric piano. And then we can do the crossfade. Now it's a quicker loop over because we've gone up in pitch. So it sounds like you're sampling it, although you could actually, I guess, change that in Simpler, which would be a reason to use Simpler, because you can like warp it. So if I play the octave up, so even though I don't mind that it sounds like this, let's play with the crossfade. What if I move it in more? So it smooths out that clicking over. only problem is, so if they all sounded like this when you played it, like a then, it would be fine. But when you go down, you break that illusion. And maybe that's not bad because it's like unique in its own right. So yeah, and you can play around because maybe. So that kind of helps a little bit. I want it to be like not noble, like it sounds like you're playing a synth or something, just because. Okay, now I just want to try something completely different. Not completely different. Like if I do crossfade here, no, it won't let me do crossfade until I bring the loop end in. But I have to then also bring the loop start in for the crossfade. Okay, so that's what we had in Simpler as well. I thought that like if you had it like set out like this, you know, you could. Then here, I want to change some things. That's why I always got to like play around with these things, because you sort of like learn where some of the boundaries are, I guess you could say. I click link, so then you can move them together. Let's see, where is that loop end? Okay. Sample end, loop end. And I want to know if you can get a crossfade just when you know what sort of loop you want like that. Oh, I guess you can. So I guess you just can't be all the way there. You need to have like... And I want to know if that might be able to help us get like a cleaner loop, let's say. But I think we're going to run into that same problem. Like that little oscillating over thing. Which is, it's not bad if like you know what you like. But if I try to play multiple notes. So why don't we get out of here. And let's go back into instruments. I love that we're doing sampling, by the way. And then let's go back to samples and throw this back in here. And I want to, even though I do like this chord over here, I just want to keep things simple. And I'm going to crop sample. Not that it really matters too much. Go to loop. And then let's kind of get that same thing. Push this fade up, which we're not going to see. That was the same thing as a crossfade. And then bring the loop in. Do is we want to warp this, not on repitch though. I guess complex would probably be good. So now, see, the only problem is, yeah, when you engage warp, it like time stretches it, so it's not all like crazy like that. So like if I hold down a chord, it should you know, not play all differently, and so they'll all play in like unison. Like that's how it should be. Now, I think the reason why it sounds so like chaotic is because I'm playing too low of pitches, so that doesn't sound so good. So you can come to the controls panel, and then you can transpose it up. Let's play at the warp mode here. It's like you don't have these warping features in Sampler, which is probably why they should redo Sampler. But I found out when you do this warping, and you've got these like formants and envelopes to play with. I feel like complex just kind of... But see, that's a tough thing, is you don't have the fade anymore. And when you move the length, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of times you'll want it to stay in areas. So it's almost like warping doesn't really help you enough unless you like totally know what you want to be like looping, you know? So it's pitched, so it's warped, right? if I take it off, yeah, I like to leave warp off, but it's always good to like play with those things because then you can kind of basically you just, but I want to be able to like, very, very, very nice, very nice, very, very nice, very nice, mate. And so, yeah, that's definitely something wanted to get into. I personally think, and then if you went to like, if you just clicked over to One Shot, you can play it like an MPC where like it just triggers the whole thing. And if you went to Gate, that would be giving you the exact same thing over on Classic where you have to like hold it down. But if you notice that we end up losing the ability to do the fade in. One Shot is kind of like when you know you're going to be like using that sample, you're not going to do that, or the One Shot, I should say, which is really just like a sample that's like kind of like just one thing, and then you throw it in a sampler because like you want to play it, you want to transpose it up and down the keyboard, so you can be like, but that doesn't sound good because we're on Gate, you know what I mean? So when you want to play it like an MPC, think those like MPCs, you know, those like old school samplers. And it ends when it comes here, so we want to give it more juice. So it otherwise, like you would have to hold it down. But now we're just really just playing like this part of the sample. And I'm sure you have the sample too in your library if you got a. Whatever the hell this is. Bayrav. Well, anyways, hope you enjoyed that. The computer is now tapping out. So I think I need to get off soon. Everything's moving slow now. I'm just testing all of these things. But in any event, guys, take care, take it easy. Be good to yourself. I want to get into the last video, white noise. I'm going to get some of that going on. Just taking, actually I'm just going to turn the filter off and just for demonstration purposes or visual purposes, I'll just use this auto filter. So everything's coming through. And maybe I'll actually bring all of that back, but I wanted to show, and I think we used this on one of the, it's a thing that was, I think, added in Live 11, all these like spectral ones. So I like the spectral resonator. And, now, if I take the dry wet down, you'll start hearing this. But now I'm actually going to bring this up. Okay, maybe that's too much. And I want to play around. I'm going to stop talking. We'll click MIDI. That's how you can use Spectral Resonator. That's how you can use it. Alright, I don't know why my voice is sounding weird. Throw up the decay. Jesus, what is going on here?